work it around, and work their way out so they don't have to go over the road that they just put.
They do it all in 1 year,
And all, cause now.
consecutive order.
In fact, one suggested breaking it down in 5 sections. Because phase 4, see, because of the size of phase 4, the fact that you had don't want to go back there and the other,
These people know how to do it, you know, they're in the business.
But again, this is doing all, in 2 months it should be finished, the whole place.
We don't need to do it all, George, why
He
not?
just said, that's what he just explained, doing it all in 2 months, finished.
it's done in
If
phases,
it-
but it's done within a
It
shorter amount
phases
of time,
over 2
not over
months.
2 years.
George, the,
And if, is that what you're saying?
where you, George, where you live and on out, the house was done 5 years later, or
But
maybe
again, what Dick is
more.
explaining is he was advised that would be suicide because you'll end up ruining the pavement you just put in a year later. By the traffic.
They have a way of doing
I
it.
think even phase 4 is at least 7 years old.
That's where you live?
Yeah, and there is some separation at the entrance there. I don't know if they put a full amount of asphalt when they first did that to begin with.
did not.
But what do you have to really gain by doing it in sections here and then another year do something else? You get them in and out, get them the hell out of there with all their equipment, so we don't have to
But you
look.
better have the money to do it all.
Yeah.
Well, assuming, you know, we have the money, if the price is right, just because the projected life of the road, the estimated life was said to be 10 years, and it's only 8 years, well, so what? If the price is right, get it done and get them out of there, and you
My
don't have to
road is
worry.
10 years old.
Huh?
My road is 10 years old.
I can't hear you.
Where I live is 10 years old, the road.
Yeah, so what does that have?
More than 10.
And again, we didn't get our
My
pavement,
point is whether it's 8 years old or 10 years old, let them do the whole place and get out
That's
of there.
fine. But there's a way of doing it, starting at the furthest point and working their
Well,
way back.
that's how they were
They're not
doing it.
gonna
They know how to
damage
do
nothing,
it.
regardless when they start.
Well, let's cover some other items besides this.
The real issue here is not trying to titrate a budget back from $180 a
No.
quarter.
Right.
No, we don't have to.
It's going through the line items, first of all, figuring out how much income you really got, and then figuring out how to allocate the expenditures of that income.
Right.
And frankly, there is nothing that shows that we are getting 100% income. Nothing in the financial statements, and nothing in the budget. It all assumes 100% compliance by 214 houses, and I don't think that's true. So in terms of creating a proper budget, you gotta start from the reality. How much money are you actually gonna have to spend?
Don't know.
And then where do you spend it?
Yeah, you never know.
And you know, if you've got $100 and the expenditures are statutory, that you've gotta spend 110, so you raise your bloody assessment.
The budget is strictly a guideline. Try to stay within it. But if you can't, that's why the board has the authority for assessments.
So why create a guideline that's phony? Create a guideline.
Because that's what you're
realistic.
supposed to do.
No,
It's
you
been
create
done
a
since I
guideline that's
lived.
realistic.
Where do you live where they don't have a budget?
Huh?
Where'd you ever live where they didn't have a budget?
Where did I ever live with it?
Your own house.
I said create a budget, but create a realistic budget.
Well,
I think this is very realistic.
I mean, the first thing for a realistic budget is how much money have you got to come in?
we don't
Okay,
know.
let's go to the
How
next.
many foreclosures?
Can we go on with this
Well,
budget,
then-
please?
then why are we
We've only got an
projecting
hour.
Well, let's not even argue about that point.
Why are we projecting 100%?
That's mute.
Why don't we know how many people are not paying assessment?
No,
Line
Because the
64,
financial
we
statements
don't
are
have
rigged.
any amount
That's
on
why.
that.
the rate,
Rigged. The management company's not doing it right. The financial statements are not
Come
worth the
on.
paper they're printed
Don't
on.
talk to your hat.
What's the
They're
next
rigged.
line
That's
after
ridiculous.
discuss?
60/40. There's nothing on that line. 60/60, there's nothing on that line. 62/10, nothing on that line.
Goes down to,
Next line is 70/10. 70/10 is legal.
no. We left that. Yeah, right here.
It's just staying there. That's what I said, there's no change.
There's no change until you get to 7170.
71/70.
That means there's no change. 70/10 is budgeted at 10,000 this year. You've already spent more than that, and you're budgeting at 8,000, which is less.
Well,
We're
we
leaving
can,
at 10,000.
No change.
with the
What do you
new
mean no
board
change?
probably won't even use an attorney. So
No.
it should be, that's a guideline. You know? We're only $261 over.
Not true.
Well, that's the way he figures. Everybody figures their own way.
Okay, what's 70/20?
Based on the balance sheet, based on the income statement from the association that the management company comes out, you spend a heck of a lot more than that already.
Legal, we're above $1,641 as of the end of September. Over, right.
70/20 is 61, right?
You follow that, Mel?
No change.
Right here off the balance sheet.
70/30.
I got today,
September 30 balance sheet,
September 30th.
I got that one. Okay. Did I
So,
give that to you?
in there,
No, I didn't give me any.
we budgeted,
I had.
What you looking for?
10,000.
This might be
Is that- No, that wasn't full. Let's see what it is.
21st
change down to
That's
8,000
it.
for the next year's budget.
or the
So
17th.
you're saying there's no change?
There should be, right, there should be less,
I think this is it.
attorney fees.
There should be.
This is not it.
It should be what there is.
There should be what?
I say there should be less, and it shouldn't probably even be what it is.
This board isn't gonna be around, and if George doesn't threaten anybody with lawsuits, we're not gonna need an attorney, right, George?
That's out of line.
Right, the lawsuit doesn't cost
True,
you.
he agrees.
And what's the next line we're working on?
Have another
70/30.
drink, Paul.
Counting fees.
Drinking water, George.
Good.
Counting fees. 250.
Paul, please tell me, who did I threaten a lawsuit against?
You want me to show you your
Oh, he
email?
just said something, I want to respond to it. Who did I threaten a lawsuit against?
Our management company is, understanding I have, that that's why they resigned.
I never threatened a lawsuit against the management.
That's what I think is in writing.
That's a lie.
It's in the-
I
I've
can't
got
help
an
it, I
email.
only
I've
read
got an
it.
email.
You're lying, Paul.
I read it, I'm not quoting, I'm just.
What are you reading?
Hold it.
Why did they?
Hold it. Hold
I
it.
don't know.
Well, it's,
I never talked to him. I never personally talked to him at all.
only reason I know that it's in a letter, isn't it?
I never had a conversation with the man.
It's in an email.
Email.
He's been the manager of all three.
And you threatened the
Manager
lawyer.
of Golf Creek, there's a letter on it.
You threatened the lawyer.
I never threatened a lawyer. I said I would tell the state that they put out false financial statements. And what's wrong with that?
So, but
Oh, you get on the board and do everything you wanna do.
Do you really think somebody should do something knowingly wrong?
yeah, I got it someplace.
I just wish they didn't quit.
Please,
Okay.
please,
Let's go on. I
please,
gotta get
please.
this budget done. I got a
Well,
meeting.
just don't lie about it, please.
I'm not lying.
You said I threatened a lawsuit, and I
Let's
never
go on,
did.
please.
We'll get you the letter.
Account
Then don't lie
management
until you
fees,
prove it, sir.
management fees, still the same. Meeting expense, 1925. Newsletter, 1,000. Office expense, 5,400. Administration of expense, 3,500, 3,000. Bad debt expense, 3,500.
Wait, where's that 3,000 come from?
We
We
lowered
lowered
it.
it.
Who lo-
500.
Why don't I have that one?
7170?
There you go.
Thank you.
7170. Bad debt expense, 3,500.
Is that an expense, or is that a charge against the reserve that you funded? Who gets paid for bad debt expense when you debit?
Ask Lars, he's the one who changed it.
It's not a matter of changing, it's a matter of what's actually been spent. $9,200 has actually been spent according to this, according to the income statement. I mean, spent where, to whom? Who gets paid for bad debt expense?
And it's back to association. If you have a bad debt, it goes back into the association. Where else could it go?
An expense is an outflow, not an income.
Well, it's an outflow from the bad debt to the association, balance.
No, it's
Why
not.
don't you stop? Why don't
Let
you stop?
let Lars, excuse me, let Lars explain it.
Well, let George explain.
Yeah, he's the chairperson, I'm not.
Where's
Not
George?
here.
I do have a recommendation, though.
Yes,
Why don't we leave the budget the way you guys approved it last September meeting? And let the incoming board, whoever they may be, take up from there.
I agree.
Make the first payment